TaRanda Green is a gifted vocalist who sings Southern gospel, worship, and contemporary Christian music. She's released 7 studio albums since 2003, with her latest release this past fall titled Healing. TaRanda has had appearances in churches all over the world. You might see her anywhere from Brooklyn Tabernacle Church in New York City, to Somewhere Singing with the Gaithers, to Shadow Mountain Church in California with Dr. David Jeremiah. You might even see her in your own home church. It was a delight to have a conversation with TaRanda about her life, her loves, and her music. Join my first of a 2-part series, Conversations with TaRanda. So one of the things that I am just so tickled about, having you to be a part of Exalted Higher is you seem to me, maybe it's just me, but you seem to have come out of nowhere.
Right.
So who are you and where did you come from?
Well, I've sung my whole life, and I totally understand what you're saying, because I kind of feel like when I talk to people, there's so many people I should know, and I'm like, I don't know who, or I haven't met them yet. Like I've been fans, but I haven't met them yet. I grew up in Florida, singing in church with my family. And when I was 18, I had the opportunity to sing Southern gospel music with a trio from North Carolina called the Greens. And so straight from high school, I went on the road, and I thought, well, I can try it, and if it works out, then great, and if it doesn't, I can go back to college, and my whole life's ahead of me kind of thing. But it ended up, I loved it, and ended up falling in love with Tony, my first husband, and we got married. And so it just feels like I was there for over a decade, and I feel like that was just a great training ground to prepare me for the doors that are opening now. And so it does kind of feel like I was just in a place for so long, and now it's everywhere. I started singing. My mom actually has a cassette tape of me when I was, the cassette tape says 22 months old, so not quite 2 years old. And my mom's playing the piano, and my grandmother, my memo, she recorded us, and Mom was playing the piano, and I was singing. And my mom would change keys, and I would change keys with her, and always going for the high notes. So my whole, literally, I can't remember a day that I didn't sing.
Do you play an instrument at all?
I played piano growing up and clarinet. And it's one of those things where I look back now and kind of kick myself, because I realized how well I was doing with piano, but I was just obsessed with vocal training and let that slack. And I can kind of port along with some things if I have to, but I wish I knew how to play.
Let's talk a little bit about what used to be one of my favorite projects that you have, and that's Stronger. Mm-hmm. The song Stronger, When Amazing Happens, mm-hmm. Shackles. Walk us through a little bit of the journey that was the inspiration for Stronger, and specifically When Amazing Happens.
Well, I sang with the Greens for all of that time, and in 2010 my husband Tony passed away. And when he passed away, my job was gone. Everything I'd known since I was 18 for a job was gone. My husband was gone, my best friend was gone, my kid's dad, and really it just knocked me off my feet for a while. And I became very angry with God, because I had donated a kidney to my husband the year before he passed. I had a lot of questions. I really wanted to know, why did I risk my life if he was just going to die a year later? It didn't make sense to me. And so I went through about 3 or 4 years of major depression. My diagnosis was psychotic OCD, severely depressed, because I was so angry along with everything. 4 medications a day, and couldn't really take care of my kids. We moved in with my parents, and my mom helped me take care of my kids, and she took care of me, and thank God for my mom. In the midst of that, I would accept some singing engagements as a soloist, because that's all I knew to do, and it was a paycheck, to buy groceries or whatever. And so I would accept some singing engagements, but it was just, I wasn't there. I was just getting through it. I went to this conference in Florida, and a friend of mine that I kind of had met through the years and knew his name, but we weren't close, named Jaron Davis, was there. So one night after the conference, I had sung a song at the conference called God is Singing Over Me, taken from Zephaniah 3:17. And when we got back to the hotel, Jaron said, "TaRanda, I want to talk to you." And he sat down and saw right through me and just gave me some of the most solid wisdom and truth that I'd ever gotten. And I said, "Jaron, I just don't know what to do." I said, "I know I'm supposed to sing, but I don't feel it anymore. And I can't get through this." I don't want to cry about this, but I always cry when I talk about this. I said, I don't know what to do to get through this. And he poured so much wisdom into me that night and into my life. And he goes, "Well, you're going to sing, and here's what you're going to do." And so that record, Stronger, was Jaron Davis's brainchild. And he went searching for songs that I needed. And you know, most artists record records because they want to encourage everyone. That's all of our heart, is to encourage and help everyone. But Jaron really went after, or took the approach of songs that I needed to hear the truth in. And so he would bring me a song, and I would just be a mess. And then he brought Shackles, and he goes, "This is perfect for you because you've got to let go of this stuff, and you've got to, you know." He really encouraged me to seek more counseling and figure out how to move through, get outside of my mind. And so that's how the record came about. And Jaron just, I call him Big Daddy G now. He's just kind of one of my mentors in life, spiritually, and just common sense everyday things that I'm not thinking of. And I talk to him almost every day. So he brought Shackles to me. He brought Awake My Soul to me. He brought Stronger Than You Think You Are, and all of these titles that were just where I needed to be singing at that moment. And so Where Amazing Happens was the last song that he pitched to me. And he waited on purpose because he knew that how I was going to feel about it. There's a band called Phillips, Craig and Dean, a vocal group. Dan Dean wrote this song. And when Jaron brought it to me, I didn't even get through the first verse before I was like, "Okay, Jaron, you know what you're doing to me. Like, I can't sing this song. I'm not ready to sing it." And he goes, "But you are." And he goes, "You need to sing this because people will believe you." And he goes, "And you need to accept the fact that God wants to do more with your life than where you are right now." And so we just started singing, and what I found is every single day of my life from that point on has been a day of where amazing things happen. And even still to this day when I sing that song, it just makes me smile, and so grateful for Jaron and for Dan writing songs like that, and for God allowing me the opportunity to sing them.
Standing on the edge of losing everything. You're out of options, out of hope. You've lost your way. Your happy ever after didn't turn out like you planned. You're searching for a solid place to stand. Looking at the ashes of what could have been, you can't help wondering if you finally reach the end. Yet in this place of weakness is where miracles begin. Watch and see the dead can live again. This is where amazing happens. This is where God steps in. This is the place where broken dreams can live again. When you're to the end
You mentioned your mom being with you and walking through stuff with you. You also shared a story once about how your mom took you shopping.
She did, yes. We went shoe shopping. I know that story.
So what is it about the shoes?
You know, I think it just started out like every girl loves different kinds of shoes. I think in the beginning it was that kind of thing, but then when I would start talking about it, it was like, okay, I think I might have an obsession with shoes, because I'm looking in my closet and I'm like, I can't ever wear all of these shoes. There's no way. I've worn them all, but you know, there's no way I'm going to revisit every single pair. And it did develop, and I've confessed this before the Lord, and I've also just heard a voice saying back, it's okay. But I do have this obsession with shoes and heels in particular. I love pumps and platforms, and I love them. They're so beautiful.
So I heard the podcast, Worship Spot, I think is what it is. So you got to explain to our viewers what shoe, sock, shoe, sock. What is that?
Okay, so we talked about this before this interview. I'm not good with rapid fire questions.
Well, this is a rapid fire.
But the guy that was interviewing, my friend Brent Dyer, he's the worship pastor at Champion Forest Baptist Church in Houston. So we do this podcast, and he just looks at me and he goes, okay, shoe, sock, or sock, shoe, or sock, shoe. And I was like, well, sock, shoe, or sock, shoe. And he was like, no, that's not right. And I'm like, yes, it is. You have to put on a sock and then your shoe. You can't put both socks on, because then your foot's on the floor and it's, you know, you're dirtying up that clean sock that's going to go inside of your other shoe. He was like, so how do you do it? I was like, watch. And we're on an audio thing. Nobody can see me. He goes, no one can see you. I was like, I'm demonstrating it for you. You have to put the sock and then the shoe, and then the sock, and then the shoe. You can't leave this one, and then this one's dragging. I don't know. It's complete, utter silliness is what it is. But
I kind of tell you, I laughed quite a bit.
Did you?
Quite a bit.
Then it worked.
Yeah, it worked. I'm like, okay, I'm putting that on my list.
Like, you can't get the sock dirty and then put it in your shoe, and then it's trapped in there. And maybe part of that OCD thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
So new life begins for everybody at some point. And tell us about Landon.
So, after I came through the depression stage, I wasn't very interested in men, because I was trying to get myself together, and I had so much pride in taking care of myself and taking care of my kids, and you know, I wanted to be able to do it. I was almost to the feminist, you know, outlook on life. So I was so happy that God had provided all these things and all these places for me to sing and ways to take care of my kids, and my kids were happy and I was happy and life was going great. And again, actually his brother Brandon, I was closer with his brother Brandon and his wife, and we had dinner, and just through a series of things, Landon started showing up, and he was booking me on concerts. He's an event promoter, so he was booking me on concerts and duplicating my CDs, and he has a duplication thing, so he's all behind the scenes. And as we started talking, we related on the level of hurt, because he had gone through some painful things with his first marriage, and we related on a level that was real, and that was only if you've been there do you understand it kind of thing. And also, he knew me. Like, I didn't have to say, oh, my name's TaRanda, what kind of name is that? Well, my, you know, and what do you do? I'm a singer. What does that mean? What is it? You know, like, that was the most challenging part of dating, is how do you explain, like, who you are. It's so weird to say, well, this. So he already knew all that. So all of that was out of the way, and it was easy to just be around him and be with him. And he felt the same way about me, because I already knew, you know, about his industry. And so I can't tell you when our first date was. I have no idea, but we just kept meeting up in places, and very quickly fell in love, and just there was a deeper appreciation because we knew each other so well. And my married name is, and my performing name is TaRanda Green. And so for business purposes, we keep TaRanda Green, not to confuse anyone, but his last name is Bean. So I literally am TaRanda Green Bean, so. So you know it's love, because I would never choose Green Bean as a last name. In fact, I almost was like, nope, can't date him. I will never be a Green Bean. But it worked. And I was like, well, God, this must be something ordained, because I would never fall for that name.
If I could, I'd protect you from the sadness in your eyes, give you courage in a world of compromise. Yes, I would. If I could, I would teach you all the things I've never learned, and I'd help you cross the bridges that I've burned. Yes, I would. If I could, I would try to shield your innocence from time. But the part of life I gave you isn't mine. I've watched you grow, so I could let you go. If I could, I would help you make it through those hungry years. But I know that I can never cry your tears. But I would if I could. If I live in a time and place where you don't want to be, you don't have
Join us next week for part 2 of my conversation with TaRanda.
This program was shot on location at Calvary Church in Naperville, Illinois. For more information, go to calvarynaperville.org.